We gotta talk about the Game Awards this year, and I'm gonna break this down in two categories. The good games and a couple special reactions to Expedition 33 winning Game of the Year. So let's kick this off with good old Harmon Smith's reaction.
The year is... Mon ami, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33!
Oh, bullshit. Complete bullshit. Complete crap.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Yeah, complete crap. They're all incels, all of them. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not even gonna watch the conclusion. Complete garbage.
Someone's salty! First off, why does your door not have a frame? Where did you stream this? In the boiler room? 2, how are you gonna call anybody an incel? Have you not looked in the mirror lately? You look like the textbook definition of an incel. I mean, come on, son, you're kind of owning yourself. 3, when Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year, you said you weren't going to watch the Game Awards again. You even made a follow-up video saying Jeff Keighley should in-game himself because your favorite Nintendo game didn't win. Here's that clip for reference.
Like, I'm never watching the show again. I'm never caring about it. Jeff Keighley needs to commit seppuku. Like, he needs to go to Japan and just ritualistically just go through the traditional
He even had the Mario hat on. You know it's serious when Harmon puts on the Mario hat. And I'm starting to wonder how many videos he's gonna make about Expedition 33 now that it's won Game of the Year. Because he's still coping and seething about Baldur's Gate 3 to this day. And I don't get why he was surprised. Expedition 33 was sweeping. It was pretty obvious it was gonna win Game of the Year. And when Baldur's Gate 3 was at the Game Awards, it swept and it won Game of the Year then. Not only that, this is good for gaming as a whole because we need more games like this coming out. I relish the day where games like this are more common and games like Black Ops 7 and Concord are rare, and when they do come out, they are a laughing stock. But not only that, Harmon is seething on Twitter. He called Moist Critical an industry shill. The self-awareness is in the negatives. Look, here is me scrolling through his channel right now. This is basically a Nintendo propaganda channel. But that's enough on Harmon Smith. Let's move on to our next reaction. How to know Nintendo absolutely destroyed the competition this year and they're coping hard about it. When Jeff and Co don't have anyone else to give these awards to and decided to dip hard in the indies to save face. Lol.
Oh, I like it, denial! That is first part of the grieving process, brothers. Now let's all hold hands, huh?
How did Nintendo destroy the competition this year? They raised the price of the Switch 1, they released Pokemon Legends ZA. I think Palland, the knockoff of Power, might have Legends ZA beat. Plus, Nintendo also filed dangerous US patents in their attempt to tear down Pal World. So I would say the opposite is true. If you're a Nintendo fanboy, you've been getting hit with a barrage of L's this year. This year has been kind of mediocre in terms of Nintendo's releases. And you said they had to dip hard into indies. Well, I would say that's a good thing, not because they're coping, but because indies and AA games have been carrying the gaming industry. So you're wrong. They didn't have to dip too hard when indies and AA games are giving gamers what they've been asking from AAA for a while. This is a sign that a course correction is occurring and we are moving back to when gaming was great back in the 90s and the 2010s. What's funny though is Harmon Smith reposted this image. This man is seething hard. But to end this tweet off, I hope this was bait and you were trolling because oof. They did it. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 won Game of the Year in a big sweep. Every AAA studio right now, especially Square Enix, is asking themselves why they have to spend 20 times the budget for a fraction of the sales and the hype. Pokemon Legends ZA outsold it in like a week. Here's Harmon Smith again. This man is on a rampage. But Grums is right, especially about Square Enix. And I'm mainly talking about Final Fantasy because that franchise has not been the same since Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy XI is an MMO, so it's not a traditional Final Fantasy experience. Final Fantasy XII is weird. Final Fantasy 13 is, well, Final Fantasy 13. Enough said. 14 is another MMO. And 15 was decent. I like the whole going on a road trip with the boys vibe and then you save the world at the end of the game. So yeah, I like 15. But my point is I want Square to go back to their roots with Final Fantasy because they already have the blueprints on how to make a good turn-based game. Because take a look at Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. Those two games are banger. These games with their styles are a callback to old style RPGs. All they have to do is change things around and make Final Fantasy 17 in this style and boom, they got another banger on their hands. I feel like turn-based combat games are becoming more niche as time goes on, but I don't like that that because I love turn-based. It feels more strategic, and I don't want to see them disappear into irrelevance. Silksong was robbed, and you can't tell me otherwise. Act 3 sets this game as an absolute masterpiece. Should have won Indie Game of the Year in art direction, if not more. Silksong was snubbed on almost every single award. Bruh, kill everyone. Okay, in response to these two, I liked Hollow Knight Silksong, but I knew it wasn't beating Expedition 33. Hollow Knight didn't make the same waves as Expedition 33. I mean, sure, it crashed storefronts to the point you couldn't even buy the game, but aside from that, people weren't talking about this game as much. I would say Silksong is a strong number 2, possibly 3 out of all these games for the Game of the Year. And I'll say Act 3 wasn't as good as Act 1 and 2. Act 3, I wish there were more new areas to explore because you do a lot of backtracking in Act 3. Act 3 felt more combat focused. And I also hate those damn shadow enemies. They do 2 mask of damage and they drain your silk. They are obnoxious. So I started to avoid fighting them unless I needed the rosary. But yeah, both Silksong and Expedition can be bangers and both should be allowed to coexist at the same time. Also, winning Game of the Year legit has people buying Expedition 33 and tweeting stuff like, "This better be the best video game of my life." That is hilarious. And you know what? I'm gonna rapid fire these next tweets. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33 has won Game of the Year. Most undeserved winner I've ever seen. And Dispatched/DS2 got heavily robbed by slop. I just looked at Expedition 33 gameplay. Bro, how did that win Game of the Year? Most trash gameplay I've seen in a long time. Should have just called it Expedition 33 Awards. Holy glaze. And the glaze of this definitely non-indie game continues. The most glazed game in the history of my lifetime. Jesus Christ. Since Expedition 33 fans are going to be insufferable, I will join them by saying Silksong was robbed. Okay, first off, in response to these tweets, is it really a bad thing that people are, quote, glazing a game that made waves like Expedition 33? If people think it's a good game and they encourage others to try it, I wouldn't call that glazing. I would just call that people just wanting others to try out a game they enjoy. Plus, these awards are meaningless anyways. Expedition 33 isn't going to become a better game just because it got all these awards. I mean, it's weird how when a game sweeps at the awards, it's called glazing. Side note, when I was going through Twitter earlier, I saw some people saying Jeff Keighley was being salty and being passive aggressive towards Team Cherry in this clip. Here, take a look at this clip.
And the Game Award goes to Hollow Knight Silksong. See, you guys won. All right, here are the nominees for Best Art Direction.
I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't think he was being nasty. I would just say he was disappointed. Because think of it this way. If someone had a game nominated for Game of the Year and they didn't show up, I would be disappointed too. Now, while I wouldn't say it like Jeff did, I still don't think he was being nasty. But yeah, let's move on to talking about what I thought looked like good games. The first banger I saw was Decrepit. It's a game that was inspired by Dark Souls, so it was made in that style. And you can tell because when you look at the footage, it really does give off those Dark Souls 1 vibe. But I don't really care for the first person point of view, and I hope this is a toggleable option. But either way, I will for sure keep an eye on this game and give it a shot, because Soulsborne style games are my kryptonite. But another banger I saw was Divinity Original Sin. This game is from the same studio who worked on Baldur's Gate 3, and this game is continuing the Divinity saga. So given the depth we got in Baldur's Gate 3, I am almost certain this will be a banger when it comes out. And this studio has my trust, because if you play Baldur's Gate 3, you can feel the passion throughout the game, especially in the first act. Now, Act 3 kind of fell off, but it was still a solid experience. And it would be funny if Divinity takes the Game of the Year when it comes out as well. And the third banger is Lego Batman. While I haven't played any Lego games since Indiana Jones, I do remember how they were always a fun experience. My favorite was Lego Star Wars. Also, this game is going to be open world, so it will probably be packed with content to tackle. And from the images on the Steam page, you can see Batman gliding through the city. It's pretty hard to mess up a Lego game, so I think this will sell pretty well too. Also, it looks like it's coming out on every platform, so no exclusivity crap either. Next up is Animo. I have been following this title for a while, and I missed the first playtest beta, so I was excited to see them reveal the second playtest beta. I will for sure be talking about this game if they let me get access. And from the trailer, it looks like there's going to be a ton of new monsters in this beta. I must say though, after they revealed this, the site broke because so many people were trying to sign up for the beta. I kept getting bad gateway. And Animo is likely another game I think will perform well because if you watch some gameplay footage that's on YouTube, you will see that this game is a gem. That free-to-play does have me concerned because we all know what comes with free-to-play games, and it's supposed to be just cosmetic, so I'm going to be cautiously optimistic going in. But if this does do well, we might end up looking at another competitor to Pokemon and another Power World situation. And some of y'all are hilarious. Y'all were calling this Temu Power World. But if you're interested, all you have to do is go to their website and sign up for the closed beta. Now, I will say be honest about your PC specs because it does say they will verify your build. You don't want to get caught in a lie. So if you got a potato rig, they might let you in anyways. And I might have to do a part 2 to this video about people being salty because there is so much salt on Twitter. I could probably make a 30-minute video about people being salty. But either way, if you enjoyed the video and you want more content like this, please consider subscribing. I would appreciate it so much. And if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you so much. I'll catch you next time.